What's up?
Hey,
What's going on?
not too much. How you doing?
Good, good. Welcome everybody to the Cousins for Life. It's Lady B and the Curvy Jersey Dash. And Lily, she just texted me. I'm not sure if she's trying to get in or what. She had a curveball today, so not sure if she's going to be joining us or not. But if she can hear us, let us know if you're jumping on. But you know what? So funny. To just now, I led into an excuse. I was 3 minutes late logging on. Is that a reason or is that an excuse? Okay, that's a question. Question mark behind it. If I got to put it there, it's a question. What do you think? Is it a reason or is it an excuse?
I think it's an excuse.
Okay. Well, I do too. However, um, I do fail at those things sometime, and I think that all of us do occasionally here or there. And that is why I was interested in this particular topic because in certain areas of my life, I know that I tend to have a couple of excuses, but I lean to not know sometimes, and this is another reason, if it's reasons or excuses, because reasons can be justified, excuses cannot. If something happened to me along the way to get on with you and it delayed me 3 minutes, meaning
I can't hear you. Daphne, there's no sound. Hey, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be back. By the way, I am Lady V. Not sure if I was introduced, but we are talking about excuses tonight. So while we're waiting, y'all think of some excuses that maybe y'all make. And I don't know if it's excuse or reason, but stay tuned. Hopefully, Daphne, aka Curry Jersey, will be back in a minute. We'll see. We'll wait. So while we're waiting, is everybody excited about Thanksgiving? Look, we're not cooking this Thanksgiving. I'm really looking forward to the fireplace and maybe some movies, chilling with my boo, my favorite guy. He's that dude, man. I've been looking forward to this. We're gonna have a good time tonight doing some karaoke and maybe a little bit of dancing, a little some, you know. But we're gonna make Thanksgiving what it means to us because I'm really thankful that I have him and my family members in my life. And so, no excuses.
I had to get on my phone. Now, guys, this leads me into excuses again. Hey, Vaughn, thank you for holding that fort down.
Yep.
I'm going to say this. My Wi-Fi, Xfinity, we're not talking about Daphne. We're talking about Xfinity, has been down for 2 days. They said something crashed. And so they said it was up at 10 o'clock last night, but it wasn't. And then they said it was on today. When I got home to use my iPad, I can't log on to my normal Wi Fi. So I don't think that's an excuse. I think that's a reason because it's out of my control. And so that leads me into our topic. And guys, I do apologize. What's reasons? What's excuses? Um, that to me is a reason. Vaughn said she thought it was an excuse. So anybody that's joining on, I would love to know what your thoughts were or are. Is it an excuse? Is it a reason? I feel like that's a reason.
Well, can I elaborate on why I think it's an excuse? Because
Hmm.
I think that sometimes when circumstances happen, we don't have a plan B. So if I know that, you know, I'm in an area where, you know, my Wi-Fi doesn't work or something is, off, it could happen to anybody. I always try to have a plan B, because if I have a meeting for my job or something like that, I can't have excuses. I can't say, well, I couldn't get on this meeting because I couldn't get on. I always have to have a plan B just in case my plan A doesn't work. So even though it's a reason, it's becomes an excuse, because I think that I didn't, when we don't plan for the plan B, then that's where the excuse comes in.
But I did plan for the plan B is my phone, my computer.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say again, I think that, and I hear what you're saying, and I think it's valid. But I still go back to say, and hey, Lily, I go back to saying, Lee, maybe you can elaborate a little bit. There's a borderline between reason and excuses of being late or tardy or not on at all. And I think it's a thin line between excuses and reasons, because their reasons can be justifiable. Excuses cannot, especially when they're habitual. So what do you think, Lily?
Well, I have a reason, not an excuse. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing this evening, ladies? I think people make excuses because they need a way out. Sometimes an excuse is just because I don't really have a reason.
But do you think my situation I just used as a scenario is a reason or excuse?
Well, since it was tangible, it was something that actually happened. I think it's a reason.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's a thin line. It's a really a thin line between the two. Out of my control. And you do have B plans sometime and everything, like what a car. If your car stops working, you go outside your normal time. You have a B plan if you have a second car. You have a B plan if you have Uber. You have but if you're late for work, you're going to be late for work, and that's the reason that you're late for work because your car would not start. So is that an excuse or a reason?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get there are things that happen that is a reason why, but when I'm already informed that this is the situation, then I still have to lean more towards is an excuse, because if I'm late for work and I know that I have to be there at a certain time, and I'm just finding out, so if I have to be at work at 10 o'clock and I get in my car at
10 minutes to 10.
9:45 and my car doesn't start, then it's kind of a reason. But at the same time, did I give myself time to really get to work, to work out those glitches that could have happened? So sometimes it is a reason, but at the same time, it's an excuse, because we tend to not pre-plan way ahead of time in order to deal with the circumstances that may could happen. Like I use my husband for example. When he got to be at work at 3, he already getting ready for work at 2. So anything that is happening, he's already got a whole hour to work it out. So he's not going to be late for work because he can call Uber. He's not going to be late for work because he can get somebody to pick him up, because he gets himself a whole hour to get to work. But if I'm only giving myself 15 minutes and I'm 10 minutes away from my job, then any circumstances that may happen, then
Is
yeah,
a reason.
it's a reason. But at the same time, it's an excuse because I didn't prepare way ahead of time. I'm giving myself just enough time to work out
So,
what needs to be worked out.
okay, so what I think, okay, is that they are our reasons for not doing things. I think we make excuses for the things that we are not committed to or don't want to commit to. We find a reason which makes it an excuse. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yeah, it does.
I
It
think
does.
that we use excuses, and the word excuse would be, to get me out of.
Yeah, get me out of
I want to
something I
be
got myself
excused
into.
from it. I want to be, separated. We make up stuff. Oh, I broke my towel.
Well, I think that also we use excuses to not even want to own up to what we use
Exactly.
reasons not to want to own up to the excuses that we make. So we
That's
make
that's true.
because we don't want to own up to, we don't want to say that we got time management problems. We
Mhm.
don't
I
want to
was
say that,
just getting ready to
what, I
say
had all
procrastination.
day to get, for instance, I came from work. I went and I met my husband and had a drink. And then I was like, oh, I got to get on the Cousins for Life. So I got to go. I got to be there on time because I'm time sensitive to everybody else's time. So I don't have to make those excuses or whatever. But a lot of times I think that we use the excuses to justify we use the reasons to justify the excuses.
Yeah, like Webster's dictionary says, an excuse is a reason given to explain why something wrong was done, or avoid, like Leisha said, blame or criticism. We're trying to
Yeah.
get ourselves out of something, like Lee said, and that's when
Yeah.
it becomes
Because
an
I don't want to
excuse.
do it. It comes down to also, I think it has a lot to do with procrastination. Like you were saying, Vaughn, just not, I don't want to say time management, but you procrastinate. I don't feel like it. My back was hurting. I have a situation all day. I had 12 hours that I could have been doing a whole lot of stuff, but instead I wasn't able to do anything.
Mhm.
So
And we wait till the last minute to do what it is that we need to do. And it goes back to what's the priority.
Yeah, it can be priority too, because it's just like when people have the January. I had a friend, and she was like, "Oh, I've been slipping up with my exercise. I just been slipping up. I guess I'll start on Monday." And me, not thinking, said, "Well, shoot, girl, Thanksgiving is Thursday. You might as well start after the New Year, after the New Year, because the New Year resolution. We always are pushing something back and making excuses for not getting
no,
started.
you gave her an excuse.
Well, she had the option to
You
use it or
gave
not, because
her
that's where you take
gave her
ownership.
you gave her an excuse
Mm-hmm.
why not to start on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and she took
Actually, she didn't
the
take it, but she was
option.
thinking about it. She was thinking about it. She was thinking about it. But we don't own up, like Vaughn said, and hold ourselves accountable for some of our excuses, especially when they're habitual. Now, there's two different types of excuses. There's valid and invalid. That's what I saw in the dictionary. I looked it up. And so, of course, we know the invalid ones are the ones that we habitually keep doing over and over again. We don't hold ourselves accountable. We justify why we're doing wrong, what we're, the things that we know we should be doing, we're not doing, and we get a justification. Like, I had been trying to start projects for a minute, some serious projects, and I was like, oh, I don't know how. I don't know with the internet being as wide open as it is. There's almost no excuse to not get started with a business, right? So it's like, why do we give these excuses? You guys are saying we don't want to hold ourselves accountable and justify it, but how can we correct some of these habitual things that we do that are negative when it comes to excuses?
We have to hold ourselves accountable.
But if we're not
And
realizing,
you have to hold yourself
do
accountable.
we need to hold each other maybe accountable?
Well, that's why they say the buddy system with projects, diets, exercise, the gym, works best. They say that if you have, and I say they, I'm statistically speaking, that people have said numerous of times, I've heard them say, whenever you want to do something, you share it with someone close to you, and that makes them hold you accountable. So when you're not moving forward, they like, did you say you was gonna, hey, whatever happened to, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it holds you accountable, or it reins you back in and reminds you, yeah, I did have something. Yeah, I did. And it's up to you whether you continue to make excuses or say, you know what? Oh, let me get on this. Thank you for, mentioning it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sometimes we tend to, when we're making excuses, I think you can really see an excuse when somebody's trying to defend themselves sometimes.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? When you start to defending, you can tell when people are defending because I've done it. Vaughn, you even said that. You sound like you're in the defense mode, right? And then when we get in a defense mode, we're sometimes giving excuses for something. I noticed that. And so I know I tell my son DJ all the time, why are you defending yourself? You're doing all these excuses that I'm not asking you for.
Hey,
And
Miss
so
Janie.
and so sometimes um, we get in a defense mode with our excuses. Let's see. Janie says, people have accused me of making excuses when I felt that I was given an explanation, and sometimes too much explanation. What about that, ladies? Explaining explanations sometimes lead to defending and excuses. What do y'all think about that? Richie said that. I'm sorry. Richie Carter. Yeah, Richie Carter.
So this is what I think. When we are explaining ourselves, sometimes we get so passionate into, we trying to convince the person, you know, just look, this is what happened. Sometimes we're over emotional, and they look at it as, oh boy, is it really that serious? You ain't got to do all that, for the excuse because you're over explaining. They look at it as an excuse, which may tend to make them think it's not the truth.
Well,
It's an excuse.
I think that a lot of times people who make excuses are people who, one, like you said, they don't hold themselves accountable, but those are people who really struggle with being honest with themselves. You know, I don't tend to make excuses. I don't, because I'm a realist. So if I f up, I f up. I don't have to make an excuse. I'm too grown to make an excuse. If I was late, I was late. If I got up late because I laid in the bed, I laid in the bed. If I forgot what I was doing and I got to wherever and it didn't get done, then I'm gonna own up to it because I don't have to make an excuse. I feel like sometimes people who make excuses is because they feel like they can't be honest with why whatever didn't happen. And so they tend to make excuses for it instead of just saying, I didn't do it. If I didn't meet the deadline, I didn't meet the deadline. It takes me less time to come up with why I didn't make the deadline than just say, I didn't make the deadline. And I really respect people because, I'm a supervisor. I respect you more if you just tell me I effed up. I tell them that all the time. Don't BS me. Don't try to make me. You ain't got to give me no excuse. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. If you were late with handing something over because you went to the club last night and you partied with your friends, I respect that more than you to give me an excuse and tell me something that I already know is not true. So for me, I don't really operate off of excuses because I don't feel like I have to. I feel like I'm honest, I'm grown, I don't have to tell you no lie. What it is, and that's it. So that's me.
Okay, excuses are not always lies, though.
I'm not saying that it's a lie, but I'm saying that sometimes we make up excuses because we don't really want to just say what it really was. If I overslept, I don't have to say, well,
But that's borderline. Another thing, a borderline of reasons and excuses because it depends on why you overslept. Was it the alarm clock? Was it because you felt like not getting up? I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, it's a difference because when I'm saying this, a lot of times I find that people make excuses because they don't want to tell what it really is, whatever it is.
So avoid the consequence or responsibility.
Right. So like I was saying, what happens is you end up telling a fairy tale.
Right.
And that is an excuse.
Exactly.
As opposed to the reason.
What's the real reason?
So people need to get to the real reason so they can have a personal growth, understanding why they're doing it so they can possibly not keep doing it.
Right.
It's like, because some things are due to fear and failure. Like I know, a couple of times, like I can remember when I was younger, I know it was when I was younger, but this stands out for me so much. I remember being in the gymnastics class when I was younger, and I ran out of the room where all the gymnasts was, and I ran into my mother, and I was crying habitually. I was just crying. Mom was like, "What's wrong?" I don't want to be here no more. I just don't like it here. I don't like these people. But in essence, that wasn't the case. Something happened to make me not want to be in the gymnast with
That
everybody
was
else.
your excuse,
That was my
not
excuse.
not
Mhm.
the reason.
Reason, right? And so
That's
sometimes
why I said that.
fear and failure, because that was a failure thing. Something happened that made me feel like I was inadequate with the other gymnasts, or not inadequate as a person, and it was minor. Like I passed gas when I flipped. That's what I did. But it made me feel some sort of a way, like a failure.
Embarrassment.
Embarrassment. That's another reason. To rationale. Sometimes people do it to rationale behavior. You know what I mean? So, Janie has something else. Hi, Janie. How you doing? Hi, Richie
I'll
again.
read it.
Excuses definitely undermine personal accountability, personal growth. It messes up our personal growth. So,
Absolutely.
so I wonder, and Don, I don't know, I can go throughout my whole life and see where I have given an excuse. I don't know if it's an over and over again excuse, but I have given excuse at some point in my life several times. And so it's like, you say that you feel like you don't give excuses. So are you thinking you're giving reasons and not excuses when you said that? Because I wanted to go back on what you had said, because you said you don't have to, or something like that nature.
No, I feel like I've just always been honest. I've just always been, whatever it is, it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. However it is, it is. If I feel like I don't have to make an excuse, because if I messed up, then I own it. I own up to whatever happened, and I don't have to make excuses for it, because then I'm not being real with myself. So a lot of times, if I'm late, I'm late every day. I am. I'm late. I'm late every day. I work and I'm on a salary. So I've never had to punch in and out. I probably needed to somewhere in my life just to hold me accountable to time, because I get to work now. Do I get to work and it's not a timely thing? It's just that because I don't have that specific time that I have to be at work, I tend to drag my feet a little bit. But if somebody asks me, "Girl, you always late," I'm not gonna sit there and make an excuse. Yup. You know what? It takes me a little bit longer to get dressed. I be in the mirror too long. What's my reason? I'm gonna own up to it. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Yep, I overslept." Yep. No, I really am slow. So if I'm not gonna get up on time, I just didn't get up on time. If I didn't meet a deadline, I didn't meet a deadline. I just think that a lot of times people make excuses for whatever it is, because they don't like to be real. They want people to think that there's something that they're not. Just keep it real. Whatever it is, it is. You ain't got to make no excuses for it. If you a effed up person, you just an effed up person. Just say I'm an effed up person. If you got an attitude, don't try to act like you don't have an attitude, because the people, you got an attitude, you got an attitude. But people make excuses because they don't want to change. They don't know how to change.
I think they make excuses back to it's all about accountability. It's all about accountability. You make your excuse because you want to justify it within yourself.
They don't like change.
Somebody. All right,
It's a defense mechanism. It is. It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, you're defensive.
Yeah. And it protects sometimes our self-esteem, or our heart, or our insecurities, or our laziness, our fear.
Hi, Nigel. Vaughn, you want to read that?
No, I don't, because I can't see it. No excuse.
Okay, you can't see
it.
Okay. Hi, Nigel. It says, and I don't have my glasses on, but I did make it a point. It says, I once told the person the truth about a situation, and they called me a liar. Now I asked the person a simple question before sharing, and I asked the person a simple question before sharing. That is, do you want me to tell you the truth or a lie? Okay, so you asked the person before you told them, you want the truth or you want a lie? To let them decide what they wanted to believe. Well, listen, when you ask somebody if they want the truth or a lie, no matter, you've already given them the avenue to believe that you're gonna lie.
So I have another question, ladies. What about those people? And we got another person that's on. Nigel, hello as well. That person, Lee.
Hi,
Um,
Kiki.
what about
Hello,
those people,
friend.
guys? Have you encountered some friends or some acquaintances that you have dealt with that actually think they want to hear the real reason, like this person is saying, Nigel is saying, but yet they really want you to give them scapegoats and excuses out of something? Because I can remember one time I was dating somebody and I really, really loved this person. I thought I really, really loved this person. And my friends around me was like, well, if they love you, they're gonna be here. They're gonna see you. They're gonna take time to invest. They're going, yes, you're talking to me. Yes, I see you every now and then, but that person's gonna come to you, and that includes you guys, if you recall. And that person never came to see me, but every time I opened my mouth, and I couldn't see it then, but I see it clearly now. And so that's personal growth. But getting back to the subject matter, I was in denial and filled with excuses for why the relationship should continue, though it's
I
not
remember
a
that very
healthy
well.
relationship.
I
And I'm
remember it
giving
very
you
well.
guys the excuses for the person. And you guys, I didn't realize it then, but now I realize it, that you were trying to tell me you're just giving this person excuses. If you ever had a person like that in your life, how do you redirect them? Do you redirect them after a certain amount of time? Because I have somebody right now in my life that I want to help that person. But sometimes after a while, how many times can I keep telling you that you're giving excuses? When do you limit it? What do you do for this person?
Well, I remember that time, and I remember us saying that, don't make excuses for them.
Right.
And that's what we do. A lot of times we make excuses for other people, because they're not stepping up to the bar, because they're not showing up, for whatever it might be. We make it say, oh, they had a rough life, oh,
Yeah,
they're in a foster
love will
care.
make
And,
you do some
we're
excuses.
not holding people accountable, for their actions. We're giving them, letting them come in the side door, pretty much, as opposed to holding people accountable. Don't make excuses.
I know y'all got tired of me, Vaughn. So what do I do for my person that I hold dear to my heart?
Same thing we
That
did.
when do you give up? Do you ever give up? How do you help that person through seeing this is an excuse you're giving them?
I think that sometimes you just have to set boundaries, and that's in any relationship. We tend to again make excuses rather than managing the situation and setting boundaries. And a lot of times we make excuses for a lot of things. My relationship, my friendship, it didn't work because of this. This relationship didn't work because of this. Instead of really, really looking at the situation and being real. Sometimes we can hold on to people and make excuses for holding on to people because we don't want to be honest with our insecurities. We don't want to be honest with our fears. We don't want to be honest with our neediness. We don't want to be honest with a whole lot of things, because when you start really looking at yourself, the person in the mirror, then you'll stop making those excuses. You'll say, because it's not really on the other person. If I'm in a toxic relationship with whoever, then I have a responsibility to hold my own self accountable, to say this is not working. This friendship's not working. This work relationship is not working. This marriage is not working. Whatever's not working, you have to own it and not make excuses for it. We tend to say, oh, well, take for instance, someone who's being abused. Well, he'll stop. No, he's not, girl. He's not gonna stop. He's gonna continue to whoop your butt. But you make excuses because you want to believe that because of your own, it's your own
Insecurity.
It's not the other person. Because if you were that person that really owned up to what's going on with you, you'd be able to say, nope, I'm not doing it. You hit me one too many times and that's it. But a lot of times we make excuses for people, and that's why circumstances don't change in our life. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing with excuses. When it comes to how people treat us, whether it be our children, whether it be our spouse, whether it be
Mhm.
our parents, you have a right to have set boundaries for people. When you say, oh my God, these people don't never respect my time. They don't respect your time because of you. They don't disrespect your time because they whatever we say and we make the excuses. No, it's you. It's you that has the problem of saying that golden word. No. When I don't want to answer my phone, I don't answer it. When I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered. I don't care. Now, if you have an emergency, text me. Tell me it's an emergency.
Mhm.
But if I'm having my downtime, I have a right to say, hey, right now I'm having my downtime and I don't want to talk to anybody.
Mhm.
No excuses. But we have a problem with that because of our own self, not because of the other people, but because we have some sort of codependency or
Mhm.
something going on in us that gives us the inability to say no.
Excellent
Yeah.
point, Yvonne.
So
Excellent point. Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Janie, hey Janie. Janie says, when I find myself making excuses, I try to get to the root of why I did make up the excuse. Sometimes the root of it is fear, defensiveness,
Defensive and uncertainty. Mhm.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
uncertainty.
Yep. Yep. And that great point, Janie. Great point, Vaughn. And to piggyback off of that, you're 100%. I agree with that. I totally agree. Now that you have said that, it comes clearer for me because I want to be a person that's lacking less excuses and more personal growth of getting past that, because we all have different things that we need to grow on. And I know that's one of mine, because I'm doing better with the time. Now I will say that with timeliness, even though I fell short today, but I am doing better. But I do agree with you when you say sometimes it's something in that person that if they have another person that's giving excuses, you're giving that person excuses. It's something in you that needs to get it
Absolutely.
together. We have another one, Lee.
Hey, Michael Pig, how you doing? I can't even say habitual. Habitual means you yourself have created a
That's what I say,
culture of
habitual. I use that
excuse
word habitual
making.
person.
Yes, habitual excuses. You just keep on making excuses and making excuses to not get to it. Excuse making that affects all of your relationships
Mm-hmm.
and
I
not
totally
just
agree.
one.
I totally agree.
Yes, absolutely.
And
But
that's really what it
Procrastination.
is. Like when you talk to a person and they're like, I'm tired, I'm always tired, I'm always frustrated, I'm always, the first thing I ask is, I don't ask about the other people. I said, what's going on with you that you can't relax? Because I used to be big on that. I used to allow people to call me, and everybody that felt like I needed to be the great counsel, I'd be on the phone with them every time somebody had a question. And then one day I realized that people are going to do what you allow them to do.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
So I had to stop with my children. I'm not obligated. I'm a mom, but I'm not obligated to answer your call. Now, my children know if it's a 911, then all you got to do is text me and say 911. My mother, if my mother needs to contact me and it's an emergency, 911. Anybody that knows me, I am not obligated to pick up that phone every time you call me. I am not obligated every time you want me to go do something, I'm going to do it. My time is valuable, and I have a right to set boundaries in my life that says, this is what I'm not going to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And if I don't feel like right now, if it's in my schedule, I'm like that at work. Somebody
So
said,
this is your reason for not
right,
doing it. It's not
Not
an
being full of
excuse.
excuses.
right. I don't have to.
You
That's what
understand
I'm
what I'm
saying. We
saying?
make
So
excuses for no reason.
the
Right.
line is
Sometimes
very
we do.
thin.
Sometimes we do.
Those
And
are
that's the
your reasons
habitual
why
people.
you're not, why you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Right.
But this is your
We make
reason. Your
excuses
reason.
because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but
That's
they
true.
hurt our feelings.
That's
They
true.
don't care about us. They don't care about you being tired because you don't rip and ran and you don't never get no rest. No, I'm like, I don't want to do it. And somebody said to me the other day, hey, do you think that we can meet? We just met. Is there any way you can send me a phone call? Because I don't want to meet with you. And that is where we have a responsibility to manage us. It is a problem when you can't say no. It
Well,
is.
I'm gonna redirect back to it's one person on here that had a question or a statement about, they said they talked to a person, but the person called them a liar. That person, remember that?
Yeah.
So
But
we
they
never did
asked them in the
address.
beginning.
We never did address how would we deal with someone that is dear and close to us, and we see that they have this issue. Do we set our boundaries like Vaughn says and let them go, or do we keep being that light and give them that grace to try to show them you're giving too many excuses? You got to grow at some point. When do you stop?
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
What happened in our situation?
I'm gonna let you go, because if I see that I'm constantly giving, and I'm giving you all because I'm one of those people. I'm gonna give you some YouTube videos. I'm gonna give you some tools. So when we keep having this conversation and you constantly giving me excuses of why you can't stop, fill in the blank, I'm gonna let you go. I'm at that point in my life. I'm gonna let you go because you're dead weight. You're taking up my precious time, and my time is not. It's too valuable for you to waste. So after so many conversations, I cut it.
So this is what happened. There's an old saying that you can't beat a dead horse.
Yep. There you go.
Beating a dead horse, you can't you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. You know, all of those things. Like you said, all right, I've said all I can say. I've done all I can do, and I'm done.
I'm not gonna hold your hand, because we allow a lot of people to take up our time and our energy because they make excuses for not managing their life. Why you don't want to go get a job? Well, because no. It's up to you to go get that job. You broke because you don't have a job. What you want me to do? Why your relationship ain't working? Because no, you either gonna change, you're gonna grow, you're gonna figure it out. Because this is the biggest thing. If I gotta manage me, then you gotta manage you. No excuses. I gotta manage me every day. I gotta figure me out every day. And if I gotta do it, then what makes you so special? We keep allowing, and I'm gonna say this, especially because I work with children. I see a lot of kids, a lot of these grown kids, they make excuses after they mess up their life. I told my kids when they were coming up, you make a baby, you're a grown person. You did not have a baby for me. So right. I take care of what I want to take care of. And if I didn't give birth to it, I don't have to take care of it. Right. It's up to you to figure it out. No excuses. Because you know what? Just like you get to tell me what you don't want to do, I get to tell you what I want.
My mother, she loved her grandkids, but she didn't give an excuse of why she didn't want to babysit. Right. She was like, how about this? She gave a reason. I raised my kids. That ain't an excuse. That's what I did.
That's it.
So now you decide to have your family and you raise your kids. It's a process. We do this. It's a cycle. Okay. And so no one came to my door and saying, hey, I can help you. So if I choose my kids, my grandkids,
but I think that's optional. That's optional.
Don't put pressure on me and make me have to give you this.
But I think that when we allow our children to make excuses of why they can't do stuff, and it don't even have to be kids. My kids used to live with me, and they would be like, "Oh, Mom, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna help you move out. Get out." Get out. And when I say get out, I mean get out. And you can't move back in, because if I let you move back in, you're gonna give me every excuse of why you can't go to work every day, do what you're supposed to do, be responsible. I don't accept those excuses. Because
where is the compassion? Where is the compassion and the grace for people then? Like, it's got to be some in there, because God says to have grace and compassion for people. So where is it in there for your kids or for your grandkids?
We're going somewhere else.
I'm just saying, where do you draw the line up? Like, what about if it's your mother, Vaughn? Are you going to be able to just let them out of your life?
I have.
So this is the thing.
married. Y'all know me. I'm a realist. I have no cut cards. If you about that, if you dishing it out, then whatever you dish out, you got to be able to get it back. I love my people. I love my family, but y'all know me. Y'all know me. There's no cut cards when it comes to me. I ain't been married 5 times for nothing. You know, you
No excuses.
if okay, let me use my right words. If a nigga can't do what he's supposed to do, you ain't gonna be in my life. You're not gonna make no excuses. I will drop you because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I have grace, I have mercy, but you know, when you telling me you can't go to work, you can't do this, you can't do that, bounce. I do.
Well, I guess that's a good person. That you know, you have a personal testimony that your growth is very strong. Because I don't think it's like that person I was saying close to me. I'm going to try to do what you said. That's good advice for me to give them some. You said some videos and some encouraging podcasts, and keep talking and praying that this person sees the light of the excuses that they keep making over and over again. But I think I'm still in that personal growth period, and that's why this particular topic is so close and dear to my heart. Because I'm trying to not make those habitual or those excuses for me and for others. I'm trying to see what it is, mean what it is, and just move on from it.
And I can tell you, my husband has helped me because one thing about Derek, it is what it is. He don't make no excuses for nothing. He like, if the shiggity happened, it happened. And whatever happened, it happened. And now what we gonna do? We gonna move on. Because he don't do the excuse thing. He like, whatever it is, it is. And I think that comes with life. You gotta stop allowing people to make the excuses, and you gotta look at your life. That's where all these people can't move on. This happened. This is why I'm traumatized. Let that stuff go. We listen to excuse. Lee, you was in social work. How many excuses have you heard?
A lot. You know, a lot.
Like,
and when
you be wanting to tell that person, really?
Really? When I tell you,
and it starts at a young age.
The reasons became excuses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they're very valid reasons, but sometimes you have to, like you said, draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
So that your reason is not continuously, and as Michael Pigg said, habitual. You know, often, over and over and over and over. Come on, you got reason after reason after reason after reason.
Yeah,
you
fix it at some point. Yeah, I agree.
So accountability, I really feel like accountability, you know, is where it really stands. You know, you have to be accountable. You know, let's make ourselves accountable for whatever it is. This way, we don't have to make up excuses. Make up. You see where I'm going?
Yeah, because I see where you're going with it. I do.
Excuses so that we don't have to be accountable, so that we don't have to do it. You know.
So I ask you ladies personally, and I just think maybe all of us online and so forth, to try to do better at mean what we say what we mean, don't give the excuses and be on the defense, and try to work on that personal growth if we have that situation of giving or accepting excuses. There's are 2 issues: the excuses we make and the excuses we allow others to give us at our expense. Great point, Jenny. Great point. So ladies, all right, I kind of enjoyed this topic. You guys have helped me tremendously, because I want you to definitely hold me accountable for making them and letting people give them to me. This weekend, this Thursday, tomorrow, this is Thanksgiving Eve. Is it Thanksgiving Eve?
If that's what you want to call it, the night before Thanksgiving.
The night before.
When we should be giving thanks every day.
Every day. Oh, give thanks.
You know, when they told me that my husband was going to have to be admitted this morning, and it took them 12 hours to do that. The doctor came in and she said, "I'm so sorry I ruined your Thanksgiving." I said, "No, we are giving thanks every day, and we cook a turkey any day."
Yeah.
You know? She said, "Oh, great point."
Yeah.
So,
and we're thankful for all the the many blessings, because like Lee said, her husband had a scare. My niece has a slight scare. She has pneumonia. She's in the hospital admitted today as well. And so God is great because we catch it. It's caught. You know what I mean? And they're getting the treatments that they need to proceed on. And so, yeah. And so, Vaughn, what you doing this Thanksgiving? What you doing?
I have a line of movies that's already lined up under my blanket with my boo. We ain't cooking. We ain't doing nothing but enjoying each other's company. We got some canvases over there that he went and bought today. So we going to do some sip and paint. And we just going to chill. We're going to go do some karaoke tonight with some friends and just enjoy each other's company and just be thankful for our lives, for each other, our families. I'm not really big on traditional because I'm thankful every day. I feel like, you should just be, you wake up and you breathing at this point in life. You walking and breathing. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful for y'all. Y'all my family, my cousins, I love y'all. So I feel like I'm enormously blessed because it's who I am. So
let me tell you about these two. These two right here, they can cook their butts off. These two right here, I saw them in action a couple of months ago. I was in awe. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, good God, I'm sitting up there like, oh, I want to be like that one day.
Yo, I was mad that you ain't know how to shake no corn, man.
I didn't know how to pull heads off a shrimp. I didn't even know they had a head I gotta pull off. Oh.
She must not have been in the kitchen when we spent some quality time with our grandmother.
No, I wasn't in that kitchen, evidently. I was hiding somewhere.
Because I know I learned some skills from her. And y'all know I just want to say that this is going to be a different Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, she ain't going to be here.
She's here in our hearts and in our minds, in our spirits. We got to say a good memory. Yeah. I know y'all probably have a lot in Thanksgiving time.
Thanksgiving, yeah. Them hot malls and chitlins.
Oh my God, those stink things.
They stunk, but she used to make them.
Yes.
But my mom is cooking her traditional oxtail. My mom's a little eccentric, so she's making oxtail, and I think she's cooking a rabbit and some oyster dressing.
Ooh, which one of your meals you cooking, Lee? Because we know Lee's cooking. She's cooking.
I was trying to get in there when Vaughn was talking about she's a little non-traditional, but for me, I am very traditional. Not that I don't see or talk to my children and my family, my immediates, almost every day, several times in a week. I really feel like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and those Sunday dinners, there's every so often I'll say, okay, Sunday dinner, and I expect everybody to show up.
Everybody to show up.
And if they don't, they call, or, I just value those times when we can just all get together, we just, do what we do. And Thanksgiving is one of those days where I go all out. I had a little monkey wrench thrown in my program today, so I didn't cook all day. So which means I'll be cooking all night.
All night.
Man, that cooking all day is tiresome though.
Overrated for me, but okay.
I mean, because you stand up and you be on your feet, your legs are swollen, your feet are swollen, and then by the time you done did all that cooking, you don't even want to eat. I'm like, let somebody else cook.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind to cook. And I'm not standing the whole time. Sometimes I'm sitting, and sometimes my legs are swollen. Look, sometimes my legs are swollen, and sometimes I am tired. But the reason why I don't want to eat afterwards is because somebody had to taste this here food. Okay, I'm not even hungry. So that does happen often with the cook. You don't eat until the next day or very late.
You're right.
But it's a joy that I have. It's how I show my love, let me love on you, let me cook for you. Let me just, I can buy you a few things too. I can rub your back and shoulders.
I'm gonna say I let y'all love on me all y'all want when y'all cook.
I enjoy cooking. I love it, and I'm pretty good at it.
You better marry a man that can cook then.
My man can't cook, baby.
They gonna have to be in the kitchen doing something because she don't cook.
I cook something. But
She can
nevertheless,
cook.
what I'm doing,
Look, Lee,
She
she
just
gonna
don't
be
like
taking,
to.
she gonna be taking glam shots
Thanksgiving
Of
is
the
time.
turkey.
while he over there cooking over the stove. She gonna be
But
like,
yeah, I got you. Not listen.
Let me tell y'all what I'm doing. Wait a minute. I normally go over, when I was married, I would go over my in-laws, and I'm still doing that.
You still doing that?
I'm
I
still
was
Yeah,
doing
gonna
that.
say,
Sister-in-law Tasha be putting a foot, a leg, a head, an arm,
that's why
everything.
you don't know how to cook.
I know how to cook. I don't cook. It's a difference. It's a choice.
she doesn't
What you
like
gonna do
to
if you
cook.
get a man?
I've
She
had
doesn't
them,
like to cook.
and I cooked. I had 4 boys. You know I had to cook. Come on now. Come on.
You girl, you
Well,
don't know how to shuck no corn.
No,
well,
I
you know
didn't
what?
do
I
that.
got a
I
question.
didn't do
If
that.
anybody's out there, what do you prefer? How
Yeah.
about that, Dev? Do
Yeah.
it. You know, what do you prefer?
What do you do?
Or
Traditional?
what?
Traditional or modern?
Well, I already said, I prefer traditional, but we can modernize it a little bit. But
I'm
is
pro
it,
modern.
I'm not traditional.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm-
mind the tradition. I don't mind
I,
the tradition.
I don't know. I think that because I lived away from my family for
So
so
long.
long, it kind of killed the tradition with me. Now there were some traditions within my family, but I've just never been a traditional kind of girl. I like to change it up. I'm not really into turkey and dressing. So, I done did some of everything for Thanksgiving. We done had lasagna. We done had some
Oh
seafood.
yeah, we've done many things, many things. It doesn't have to be the turkey.
Right. I'm wondering if anybody out there has a favorite dish too. You can throw it in the comments.
There you
We would
go.
love to know your favorite Thanksgiving dish or tradition, whichever one, whatever you want to say.
What
But guys,
is it?
go ahead, Lee.
What's the thing that you are sitting on ready? Got your fork and you just can't wait. Just put the stuff on the table.
Collard greens, they never go straight out for me.
Is there
I love
something? What's
Derek.
your favorite? What'd you say?
Derek. She said Derek. I said collard greens. It never plays out for me. Collard greens. I'm a collard green connoisseur.
I know. Dad love collard greens.
Derek.
Derek. Okay.
I got support.
What's yours, Lee?
I'm sorry, my head in the gutter.
The thing is,
I got 4 days with him by myself, so
that's okay.
We still newlyweds too, so
Lee. What's yours?
I love stuffing. Well, dressing. I love dressing. I really love dressing. And I like playing around with it. I like traditional regular dressing, I like sage dressing. And I tried lately the last
I like sage.
Probably about 6 months ago I did the seafood dressing and it was so good.
I said I was going to try that. I may try that for Christmas.
It was really good because I took my time. I got the lump crab meat, and I didn't, mash it up, and I put the shrimp in it. I chopped it up. It was like, oh.
So it was actually not imitation. It was straight crab meat.
Yeah.
I said I got the lump crab meat.
I'm just making sure because I see a lot of that right now in the supermarket. And it's killing me. You know how I feel about that, Lee.
Yeah.
Imitation.
I don't know. I think that this is what I miss. I miss a good smothered rabbit and
You better go to your mother's then.
I made it last year, a good smothered rabbit and gravy.
Poor buddy. I can't eat no animal that's cute. No deer.
That would be pinky.
That's cute. That's a negative for me.
Well, we had a guy that gave us a rabbit last year, and I was actually asking Derek if we could get a rabbit. But I like little stuff like that. I'm not really a turkey person because it lasts forever.
Okay.
You ain't gotta have turkey on Thanksgiving.
Wow. Okay, so listen, we talked about excuses, how not to give them, how not to receive them, so our personal growth can continue, and not let people to protect our hearts, to protect our minds, to protect our beings, to protect our boundaries. And so we know it's important, it's valid. We should make sure we're doing it. And so now I have committed to that, and hopefully the other people that is watching or will watch will commit. What is our last words as we depart from online with the Cousins for Life? Some last words that y'all want to share? Anything?
I'm gonna say live your truth and cause other people to live theirs.
Challenge them. Yeah. Lee?
Well, I'm going to jump on that Thanksgiving thing. I agree and concur with what you said, but we should be giving thanks every day for everything, if for nothing else but for life. I don't know who you serve or who you believe in, but being grateful, comes from your heart, and just, being grateful for the things that you have that so many other people don't have. You may think you have little and it is much to others. So just be grateful, be appreciative of life and what you have, because it don't take much. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah. Live your life. No excuses. All right. You heard it from the Cousins, Lady V, Lily, and Daphne Curve Jersey. Cousins. Is this right or wrong? Because I have to hold my phone with one hand and my fingers got stuck.
Can't go wrong with 4 fingers. And
that's what she got the 4. She get the 4.
Right.
Man, Daph.
I'm trying to hold the phone.
There you go.
All right, guys. I love you.
Love you, ladies. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure we'll talk in the morning.
Yes.
Lee, tell Steve, send my prayers.
Yes. All right, guys. Love